Alright guys, so I put out a video yesterday regarding plastic dip or plastic peel, and there's been a few concerns regarding the safety feature of it because it is flammable. Now I've read the can, and basically what it says from my understanding is it is flammable when the vapors are coming out of the can. So it's kind of like hairspray. If you hold it up to a lighter and spray it, it's gonna catch on fire, but if not, if you apply it to your hair, it doesn't just automatically combust. So I'm gonna do some tests just to see exactly how flammable this thing really is. So I got the actual glass that I use, and I sprayed a really thick layer of plastic dip in there, and that one is the Rust-Oleum one. Now I have been working with plastic dip before. I've used it many times. That golf cart right there in blue, the whole thing is actually plastic dip. If you want to take a look, if you notice right here, you can actually peel it off just like that. So this whole thing, it's a little dirty, I know, but I uncovered it just to show you guys that it was done in plastic dip. I've done the floor in plastic dip. Basically everything in here is plastic dip, and it's been sitting out here for about a year and a half with no problem whatsoever from the heat. And given where I'm at, it gets pretty hot. So I thought, hey, why not give it a shot and try it with this. Now, what I'm basically gonna do is light these on fire and see what happens. Of course, I have my glasses here, and we can't have any kind of a controlled fire without a fire extinguisher, so I have that handy as well. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and light these up and see what happens. Okay, so for the middle part, this part right here is just straight tape, and I'm gonna use some hairspray. I want to go with the big sexy hair. So let me go and get some of that on there. I'm not gonna do a thick coat, but just like so. Grab my lighter. And we're just gonna let it burn and see what happens. As you guys can see, nothing's really catching on fire at this point. It is melting the plastic a little bit, but that's about it. Unfortunately, the wind just picked up, so let's try this again. Okay, so the one on the right is kind of gone. It's not really going to light up anymore. But I think that should prove a point. I mean, it was directly on fire for a little bit. So let's just wait for this one to burn out, and then let's see what happens. Alright, so let's take a look. Now on the first one, let's get this out the way. It did melt the plastic as I just touched it right now. See that right there? So all it basically did is just melt the plastic. It didn't do anything more than that. On the part where I used the hairspray, nothing really happened on this one either, surprisingly. And on the last one, again, nothing. So I'm thinking maybe I'm doing something wrong. I'll go and give it another shot and get actual fire directly to it while it's still constantly burning, and we'll do one at a time. Let's go and do one at a time and let's see how that works out. Okay, and then the last one. Okay, so on the first one, we got nothing. It's still a little warm, but nothing. On the tape itself, there is a little burnt mark right there. So I bet you if I left it a little bit longer, it would have kept going. And on this one, which was just stopped, let's get that out the way. And all it did is melt the plastic. Okay, the last thing we're going to talk about that people showed a concern for was the actual hot end touching the plastic dip and igniting it on fire. Or I shouldn't say to that extreme, but they were just worried that, you know, it might be some heating or something along that line. Well, basically, guys, I mean, let's be honest, let's think about it. The hot end, yes, it is running at 180 plus every time you turn it on, but how often does it touch your actual heat bed? The only time I know it touches for sure is when it auto homes here. After that, it basically hovers over it, laying down whatever material you're using. It would be a concern if it was hovering just in one area, so there would be like the concentrated hotspot, but most of the time it's moving all over the place, so it's not concentrated in one spot. It's constantly moving around, and once the first, second, or third layer is done, it's not even touching the bed anymore. It's basically just laying layers on top of layers, so now it's touching the plastic itself. So I don't see it as too much of a concern, but I can understand why people would think that would be a issue or problem. Also, the fumes. Now, I haven't had any issues with that. I've done 3-4 plates already, and or 3-4 times on the same plate, I should say, because my other one broke. And every time I turn it on, I mean, I'm in an enclosed room. I close the door, leave, come back. When I open the door, I don't smell anything, even when I get closer to the printer. So I hope this addresses some of you guys' safety concerns. Again, I'm not making this video to prove a point. I'm making this video because I want to make sure everybody's safe when they're printing. I've made videos in the past about fire safety for 3D printers. I haven't seen a lot of people do that. Safety comes first. So all the questions that were brought to my attention today, I have tested, in my opinion. And if there's something I missed, please let me know. I want to test it out, because if this is not the right way of going, then I definitely don't want to recommend it to people and put them at risk. So please, if you have any concerns, comments, let me know. Thank you.